Hey everybody, how's it going? Let me get set up here real quick. Okay, how are we looking? Am I straight on? Am I not? Um, let's see here. Setting this tripod up is always a little bit funny. Anyways, hello my wonderful friends. How are you doing? We're on live today, Sunday evening, hanging out. Hopefully, some of y'all can stop in this evening. We can have a nice conversation. Well, my good friends, my good friends. Um, I was making this, you know, thank you whoever just popped in. I just, I made this video. I wanted to. Hey there, DJ. Thank you so much for stopping by. You hit this video fast, so thank you so much. I wanted to make this video I've loved chatting with y'all, so feel free to ask me any questions. Feel free to make any suggestions. Let's get a conversation started. But also because I'm about to hit some milestones. I just looked at the. Thank y'all so much who did help, who did spread the word. I'm at 1,199. I just looked before I started my live. So one subscriber away, but I'm about to hit 2,000. Again, it's not, subscribers and numbers aren't the biggest thing in the world, but it is a measure of, I guess, how much influence or, if people love your content or not. And I'm here, of course, to share the love of fragrance and share what I know, my experience, my passion. So, I'm only here. I can only do what I can. But it means a lot that y'all are here for me and here with me, enjoying fragrances and sharing the passion of fragrance and everything that's involved. There's so much to learn. I mean, I myself am still learning about the different notes that are out there, what makes fragrances tick. I'm still learning about the composition of fragrances, the top notes, the mids, and the bases. There's so many styles, and I've tried to dabble into the world of what makes fragrances, what are the ingredients, the synthetics. There's a whole world of synthetic ingredients. That's a whole different world, and naturals and how things are blended. So there's always something fascinating to learn with fragrance. I've shared incense. I love incense and essential oils, and hopefully I've got some of y'all and into that as well. I think that that's a wonderful way to experience fragrance. Of course, there's cooking as well. I hope that y'all cook wonderful food. I hope that y'all cook at home. You cook with and for the people you love, and of course, it's going to make you healthier and happier. So, hello everybody who's popping in. Hey Ray Ford, says congrats Ben. Jasmine Waves, hello, how are you doing? Solano says congrats my dude. You the man. So thank you Solano. He has a great channel too. Check out Solano. He's a genuine guy. I appreciate him. Randy says congrats man. Hey man, how you doing Randy? Hard work pays off. Yep. I've been doing some hard work. Y'all can tell that I've been uploading every day for 4 odd months, maybe longer. And before that, I was still doing like 4 videos a week or so. So I have put in tons and tons of work. I've been super consistent. Um, yeah, there's some other great YouTubers, no doubt, that put hard work into it. But I mean, goodness, I'm diligent. I put in a video every day, and it is work. It's kind of like a second job, but it's a passion. It's not a difficult thing to do. It's not a hard thing to do because you love doing it. So, Fragrance Journey's in the house says, congrats, man. Y'all know that Fragrance Journey is a real deal fragrance lover. He's a real deal fragrance dude as well. Check out Fragrance Journey. His channel's growing really nicely. He's doing a great job. I think people are also connecting to Fragrance Journey. So, if you want to learn more about niche fragrances and higher end fragrances and really special fragrances, if you want to smell different, Fragrance Journey is also a great guy to go to. I like to share indie and I dabble in all kinds of stuff, but if you like some of the harder stuff to wear, Fragrance Journey's got some great stuff. Um, Susie says, hello, love to watch your videos. Hello from California. Well, hello, Susie from California. It's nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by. What's the weather like in California? Today, it was pretty darn nice. Sometimes it's not so nice, though. Solano says, the one and the only's here. Yes, my friend, the Solano. I believe it's from Peru. Jasmine says, hit the thumbs up. Jasmine Banbury. Bambury. Yes, hit the thumbs up if you like my content, if you want to support me. YouTube is funny. I know it shouldn't be this way. I know you shouldn't have to play the little YouTube game, but you have to hit thumbs up to let YouTube know that you like me. Watching, doesn't YouTube the metrics that doesn't mean enough. And also when you subscribe, it's so weird, and I'm not trying to push anything, but if you subscribe, you won't get notified ever of my content unless you hit, notifications. It should be included, it should be a default, it should be the way it is, but that's how it is. So even if you love me and you subscribe, if you don't hit notifications, you don't get notified. So, and definitely hit all notifications. So thank you so much for that, Jasmine. I appreciate that. I cook up a storm, Solano says. What do you like to cook over there? I think you're from Peru. I went to a restaurant one time, and I don't know what the authentic stuff is, but there was this dish that was like French fries, and there was some kind of like special kind of like meat sauce, almost like a carne asada in a way, on top of French fries. And I don't know why, but it was really good. So you have some wonderful food over there, Solano. I'm sure you do. So Bougie Fragrances says, top of the evening to you, Ben. Congrats. Thank you, Bougie Fragrance. Thank you for the work you do. Another great channel coming up, working out, doing a good job. A nice plug right there. Well, I know it. I know it's shameless, but I do like to get the word out. I do. I like to get the word out because a lot of people don't know how YouTube works. YouTube changes a lot with the algorithm and all these different things, and there have been some people out there who have made jokes, like joke videos, and about what a fragrance viewer or just anybody who watches a YouTuber is going to have to do in the future, like hit 50 different buttons for different ways to get notified. It is kind of ridiculous. You have to jump through some hoops, but I do appreciate it if you do that for me. Say 2K on my phone. Says 2K. That's awesome. That's happy to hear. When I looked just a second ago, it was 1,109, no, 1,099. So 999. Bougie Fragrances is laughing, and Seb says, "Hey, how you? Thumbs up." So, anyways, my friends, thank you for your love and thank you for the celebration. I should be here soon. What do you mean? Oh, do you mean there at 2,000? I think you'll get there fast too, Fragrance Journey. It won't be long until you're up there. Mr. Cheap Sense is growing pretty good. A lot of you guys, and I wouldn't doubt that you surpass me. And this YouTube thing isn't about the numbers; it's about the passion. And this is about celebrating the love and the connection I have with wonderful fragrance lovers and wonderful fragrance people out there. We're all doing great, yeah. And I have good hopes for the fragrance world and for the fragrance community. I've heard some people in the past say that there's not any fragrance reviewers, doing fragrance reviews anymore. But I don't know if they know about guys like us, guys like you, Solano, guys like you, Fragrance Journey, people like myself. There's a bunch of upcoming fragrance reviewers, and there's a good number of these smaller guys like the how do you say his name, the eighth realist, and there are a good number of other smaller people who are doing wonderful work. I mean, amazing reviews about all kinds of fragrances, indie niche, and everything else that people don't know about, people haven't heard of before, and getting the word out on amazing fragrances. So there's a lot of good people out there, and I'm just so grateful that y'all like my content, and I've been putting in the work. I'm so grateful that y'all want to be a part of this Centaur fragrance family, this Centaur fragrance experience. It means a lot. And again, it's a really small thing. In the world of YouTube, getting to this number is nothing. It's quite a small thing. But again, we have to take perspective that the fragrance YouTube community is a bit smaller than, anything like, let's say, the makeup or video gaming or any type of other genre how-to videos on YouTube. So this is I feel like it's a big accomplishment, and I'm so grateful. Let's see here. It says it's a great time for all fragrance reviewers to support each other, no matter what taste and delivery style. Exactly. I agree. I do think that there's a tiny bit of foul play with some people regurgitating top 10 list, but overall, I think the fragrance community is a wonderful place, and I think that people are doing good work, putting their best foot forward, and even the people who do top 10 list over and over, and they kind of do some of the same content, they are helping a lot of people out in there in the world. A lot of people do want to know about, those big fragrances that are really popular. Um, that people love them. I only wish I had your work ethic. Thank you, Fragrance Journey. Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, but you know that I have over 300 videos, and I have over 50 or 60 videos ready to go. Um, my goodness, I have a huge work ethic. I've always been that way. I've been a very hardworking individual. Right after high school, I went and I actually worked at a furniture store, and I was moving furniture. And I had somebody ask me one time, and they were like, "Did you work at the counter?" And I was like, "No, I'm moving the furniture. I'm sweating and breaking my back. Literally, I was like a 20-year-old guy coming home, and my back hurt because I was doing hard work, and I've always worked and I've always put out a lot of effort, been very consistent and passionate. And it's not like I'm trying to outdo the other guy. It's like I have that drive and I have that work ethic, and I can sit down every day and make 5 videos, but of course I don't want to drown y'all with content. I think one video is probably more than enough. One video a day might be too much, so I don't want to put out more than one a day. So I do a lot of work. It snowballs. I've watched many creators grow. It always starts very slow and then it takes off. Keep going to all those creating. Well, thank you for the encouragement, Jasmine. I certainly hope that it's going to pay off. Not because I'm looking for a get rich quick scheme or anything like that. Y'all know that we're fragrance enthusiasts. We truly love fragrances. There's so much passion, and that's hopefully that's what we get more into the fragrance community. I think that there's a lot of it, but I think that to some degree that it's easy to lose it to some degree. I think that if you're just making top 10 lists because you feel like you have to, I was falling into that trap. There for a while, I was making top 10 lists, and I felt like I had to sometimes just to get the views, and you kind of started losing I started losing who I was, and I felt that negative kind of pull. And that might be different for everybody else out there. Some people might be fine. They're not. They might not be bothered doing top 10 list or doing whatever. We got to be true to ourselves, true to our style, true to who we are as a fragrance lover. We're all going to be different fragrance lovers, and I love that point that was made earlier. That I think that we're starting to all come together. And I don't want to say that there wasn't unity in the past with fragrance lovers. I'm in the South, guys. That's gunshots. Anyways, my friends, in the past there was a smaller group of people who were good friends, who were fragrance enthusiasts and passionate. But I think that we're getting closer together more than we ever have before, and I'm very optimistic about the future. I think we got a good group of fragrance people, and we don't all have to have the same subscribers or have the same amount of influence to be friends. I feel like we're all getting a little bit more interconnected, and I feel like that's a wonderful thing. I've seen people who have it's kind of easy to become friends with people who are similar to yourselves. Just like it's easy to become people who are around you at your work or around you. It takes a little bit more effort to become friends to those who are a little bit different from yourselves or outside of your city or outside of your regular life. And the fragrance community and this YouTube thing allows us to all connect with each other. You wonderful people who are watching me right now, it makes it easier to connect to you. And I think that things are becoming better in the fragrance community. Um, Again, some people in the past, I've talked to some people, and they feel like maybe because I have 2,000 or I almost was about to get 2,000, because they only had a couple hundred that I was unreachable. And some of them were actually shocked. It's like, because I want to be friends with them. I want to rub elbows with them. I want to see what they're interested in, what they're reviewing, what they smelled recently. And I think that there needs to be more of that. And I'm not criticizing any big reviewer, anybody who's a big reviewer, but I think you can clearly see that some bigger fragrance reviewers Some of them care about building the bigger fragrance community as a whole, and some of them don't. And I'm not trying to tear anybody down. I'm just saying that I think we're all becoming a little bit more open. There have been fights between certain fragrance reviewers in the past. There's been fights over certain issues, and I think that that's kind of healed. I think that we've gotten over. There's still some wounds from some things here and there, but overall, again, I think the common thread, of course, that unifies us is fragrance. So let me see here. I like reviewers who feel they aren't fragrance sellers or influencers, but speaking from their own personal love and taste, but that keeps redundancy at bay. I feel the same way. Against, it's not a crime to be redundant, but I do feel like if you're really into fragrance, again, everybody's different. Everybody's going to approach this differently. But for me, if I'm curious about fragrance and if I'm passionate about anything, I'm going to dive out there and I'm going to try to find all the different, possibilities, what's available, what's out there in the world. And I'm going to bring that to you in the fragrance world. So I'm always exploring new fragrances. I'm always trying to find new samples. Just today, I found a new company that nobody's done reviews of, and I reached out to them and I bought some oils from them, and I have two of their oils on the way. So it's an exploration. There's so many things out there. There's so much. Let me see here. The Centurion says, "Huge congratulations, Benjamin. If anyone deserves it, it's you, my friend." Thank you, Centurion. I don't want to feel like I'm owed anything. I don't want to feel like the world owes me anything. But I have put in the effort. I have earned it. So I've gotten to this point. 300 videos plus. I don't know how many 300 over 300 I am at this point. I don't know, 320 or something, and a lot of work, a lot of consistency, and always trying to learn. And again, I don't know if y'all hear that, but I'm in the crazy South. I don't know what they're doing over there, but sometimes people are shooting. Anyways, but thank you, Centurion, and check out Centurion too. He's an honest to goodness, guy. He's over there, and I always want to use the word chum. I'm not sure if that's a nice word, but there's different slang. But you're a great guy, and he's a great friend. Check him out. He's an honest to goodness guy. He has some great opinions on gentleman fragrances and Penhaligans, and some of these brands as well. I'm out, Ben. Congrats on you deserve the awesome milestone. Thank you, Fragrance Journey. Thank you for the love and the support. Again, I think that as we become closer together as fragrance lovers and we all become a little bit more interconnected, I think that we're all going to benefit from that because we all have, you know, it would take an awful lot of money and time for one person to go out there and sample and try everything. And we all live at different places and we all come across different things. We're all in different places in the world with different perfumers and different brands, and we all learn from each other in different experiences. I know that some reviewer out there knows of a wonderful fragrance that I need to try that I would fall in love with, and it's probably the same way for them. I might know of something that they would really need to try, and if we all share that collective knowledge and come together, we're all just going to benefit from that. And we also encourage each other when we're friends and when we're enthusiastic about fragrance. We're all, kind of motivated, with fragrance and that kind of community as well. And I'm a little bit of an individualist. I've kind of said that a couple times, and maybe that gave somebody a wrong feeling. I do love community. I do love building, everybody up and encouraging everybody and loving everybody. Uh, you know, we all have to be, set, I guess, established and have a own, I guess, strength of character, a sense of self. But we also, building each other up is also, I think, a good thing as well. So that I think that sense of community does go a good way as well. So, DJ says Ashton should have invited as top guest at Scent Explorer. That's an example. Should have been invited. I don't want to get into that. Yeah, there are some wounds in the fragrance community. I don't know who was invited, who wasn't. I don't know if how invitations went out, how you can get to Scent Explorer. I didn't go. It wasn't because I rejected Scent Explorer. It was because I didn't have money. I don't even know if I'll be able to save enough money to go to how was it called? It's Essence. Is that how you say it? Is it French? I'm not sure, but I don't even know if I'll be able to save that that enough money to get there this year. So not everybody can travel across the country, or you might have to travel to another country and get work off. And sorry, that was a mosquito hawk. And and anyways, there are some wounds in the fragrance community. A couple people just quit because of some certain fights, but overall, I hope that they can come back. There's still community for them. They might have a bitter taste in their mouth. I talked about in some live videos a month ago or so. Um, I don't know what they're doing over there, but that's they're going off. Um, anyways, I agree. People should have been invited. I'm not that big of a fragrance reviewer, but even though I couldn't go, it would have made the world if I was. But they were handing out tickets pretty generously, so I guess I can't complain. 504 man fragrance reviews is in the house. A brother over there in I think it's Louisiana. He's doing good work over there. Check him out too. There's some great people in here. What fragrances are you looking forward to buying after 2K followers? Don't encourage me to buy any more fragrances. Oh my goodness. But of course, at some point or another, I'm going to buy some more. I have some fragrances coming in from Happy Land, Alexandra. I'm going to tell y'all that company in the future. I have two oils company coming. I have a couple oils from an Arabic brand. I have introduced them, but they have a bunch of wonderful oils. Um, I don't know what I'm gonna buy next. I have a big list. I recently bought Prison Blues by IDEO. Look out for a review. I don't know how soon it's gonna come down in the pipeline, but I that was one on my wish list for for a long time. It was a one I'd really been wanting, and I finally got a bottle of it. It's a wonderful fragrance. I hope that y'all look into the brand of IDEO. But they had a 50% off sale for Valentine's Day, and I shared that on my Instagram. Again, I guess this is a shameless plug. Some of y'all might not like that, but check out my Instagram. I'm Centaur_fragrance. That's another reason why I also was celebrating this evening. I'm getting pretty close, and I'm creeping up on 3,000 on my Instagram. I love the platform. I love how open it is. There's a bunch of great fragrance lovers over there. There's a lot of community. There's a lot of wonderful people out there. Mr. Cologne 76 and some of these other guys out there are doing a lot of good work, and some of them actually have started becoming YouTubers, which is kind of funny. So, I it's a wonderful place, and there are giveaways over there. Y'all can check out some of those. I do find them from time to time and share them. So there's a lot going on my page. I have close to or about 400 posts on Instagram. So if y'all think that I'm just busy on YouTube, I'm busy everywhere else. I dived into Tumble one time, and I need to try that a little more. And I don't know if how much I'll try, but I might even tip my toe into TikTok and see what that'll do. So I know it's there's a lot of work out there to do, and I'm working hard. Let me see here. Thank you, DJ. Thank you for all your kind words over here. So, anyways, I didn't answer your question. I didn't answer that question. What am I gonna buy? Um, what am I gonna buy? Um, I'm just thinking of some of the brands going through my head. I really want Montebaco Intensivo from Ormond James. That's one that's high on priority, up high on the list. It's an expensive booger. It's not cheap. It's not the most expensive fragrance out there, but it's darn expensive. And it's a good fragrance. I love it. If you haven't checked out Ormond Jane and you're into niche and you want something with character but that's still pretty wearable, check out Ormond Jane. They have some darn good fragrances. I think they deserve some attention out there. Anyways, hey there, let me see. Milan is a long way from the U.S. It is a long ways away. I'd have to pay for hotels. I'd have to pay for air flights there and back. Of course, food. Of course, I'd want to buy fragrances, and just going there. That's not cheap, and I don't have big pockets, so hopefully I'll be able to work out some of my efforts and endeavors and make those dreams happen. So, um, says hi there, Centaur. How you doing today, mate? Hey, Fragenstein. How are you doing today? I'm doing very well. I'm so happy to be here with fellow fragrance lovers and fellow fragrance enthusiasts. And of course, we're celebrating some of those big milestones. And I do, at the end of this video, I'm about to tell y'all about some of the people who are involved in the giveaway. It's not a major thing, and I'll never. You can write this down on my, as far as I don't know, promises, I guess I'm making to my viewers. I'm never going to give samples at the end of my videos that and put giveaways in my title. And I'm not taking shots at any big reviewers. Y'all know some people do that, but I want people who subscribe to my channel to love fragrance, to be passionate about it, and not be coming to my channel for giveaways. And some people kind of do prop up their channels from time to time from doing giveaways, and I only want to do a giveaway, and I kind of want it to be low key to the people who are subscribers of my channel. I don't want to announce it too much, and I don't want people to quickly subscribe and then unsubscribe, or subscribe and just not be active on my channel. I want people to be involved. I want people in the comment sections sharing what they love, what they smelled, what's their scent of the day, their fragrance memories, and all kinds of special stuff. So, anyways. But I'm doing great, Frankenstein. Says, I have to go. Work comes so early in the morning. Congrats again. Keep pushing for the win. Thank you, Bougie Fragrances. I hope that you have a fantastic day. Your Sunday's already over. I still have a little bit of the night to burn. I hope that you have a fantastic week. I hope it goes well, my friend. Take it easy. Titan Fragrances says, congrats, bro. Thank you, Titan Fragrances. He's another genuine guy working up and coming up in the fragrance community. As far as I can tell, Titan Fragrances is a genuine guy, too, so check him out. Jasmine Bambury says, what are the earliest memories of fragrance smells or perfume? That's a very good question. One of my earliest was that we went to some hotel. I have no idea what hotel it was. It might make me sound posh, but I'm not posh. I'm not from rich upbringing. But we went to this hotel, and there was these little vials, and they didn't even have names on them. And I remember these little vials, and I opened them, and my parents were really touchy and super protective. Just those little, daubers, so just like a little vial, and I smelled it, and it was some kind of aquatic citrusy fragrance, and I thought it smelled so nice and so good. It might have been Aqua di Gio. I don't know what it was at the time when I was little, so I was really impressed by that. Years later, of course, you smell things in the mall, but I never went to go buy fragrances in the mall. I do remember, smelling fragrances in the mall, kind of like Ashton over there at Gent Sense. Sometimes I did go to the arcade back in the day. I was a big fan of things like Tekken and Soul Calibur, and it's some of those arcade shooters. And one time there was a Star Wars, pod racer and some of that stuff. And anyways, I remember smelling fragrances, but I didn't know what they were. I didn't even know where you could buy them. My mom had a few fragrances, but she rarely ever wore them, and I never got to see them. She kind of hid them away, I guess. My dad never wore fragrances. As far as I know, none of my family or none of my relatives ever wore it. So I didn't even know about fragrances until I got to college. For some reason, there was something that just ticked. I often go for sales. I like to look at thrift shops and go to the mall and go to the clearance section. And I found a great deal on an amazing jacket, and I was just walking past and I saw all these fragrances. And I had never really smelled fragrances before, and this was just in an average mall. And I said, "Why don't I do this?" I was just curious. Why don't I smell a bunch of these things and see what they're about? I had no idea what I was going into, but I smelled everything. I remember smelling like Gucci Guilty, Polo Red. I ended up buying Polo Red, and later on I bought Versace Pour Homme, and I smelled like everything. I smelled a bunch of the YSLs, and I remember smelling some of the John Varvatos, and I just smelled just almost everything they had there, and it was so fun. I'm a very curious person. I get into a lot of hobbies, so I started to dive in, and I first got on Fragrantica, and I started writing little posts and paying attention to people. Somehow I found them first before I ever found YouTube. Somehow I got on Fragrantica, and I'm more of an audio and a visual type of person. I mean, more of like an audio and written person, I guess you could say. I like visuals, of course. Videos are great, but that's not my thing. You know, there's different kinds of learners. So it took me a while, but I decided to I'd dive onto YouTube. You know, I'd heard that there were some reviewers, and of course, Jeremy Fragrance was first. He always pops up first, but I quickly started wanting to look towards other people, and then I found some wonderful people out there, like Robes Await. You know, I thought Max Forte and you know, Jet Sense and some of these bigger names, also Street Sense and Dre Doc, and those were some of my guys who were really my, I guess you could say, fragrance senseis or fragrance teachers. Street Sense and Dre Doc and Robes Await and Max Forte and you know, Jet Sense were some of the guys who I really learned from, and I really admire those guys for the kind of work that they can do, and for their consistency and their work ethic. And Street Sense is still around. He never grew big. I don't know if he learned to put tags in his videos or and he has sometimes he's taken breaks here and there. But Owl over there at Street Sense is also a really genuine guy, just asking people's opinions and doing reviews on the streets. So um, there's a lot of good fragrance reviewers, and that's how I really started. That's my fragrance memory. That's kind of my fragrance story. It's not as fascinating as some people who were maybe raised with fragrances, or their mother was a perfumer, or maybe their dad met their mother who was wearing, I don't know, so you know, I don't know, Dracar Noir or something like that. I don't have a story like that, but I started my own fragrance, my journey. So, anyways, let me see here. Uh, Milan is a long ways pushing. I'm catching up. So hopefully it answered your question, Jasmine. Thank you so much. That's a really good question. Congrats on reaching 2K. Grinding for that 500 personally. Yeah, Frankenstein. It's not easy. Um, just like any community, it's going to get harder as things get bigger and bigger. It actually gets harder and harder for people to grow and you know, climb up. And with the algorithm change, you know, with them supporting the authoritative content, meaning you're going to get more support from YouTube if you have bigger numbers, and it's going to be harder for you to creep up. It is getting harder, but there's still a lot of potential. There's still room for everybody in the fragrance world and in the community. There's still room for you. You still have a voice. You know, don't focus on the numbers. You know, you can easily get discouraged if you know, if you're a YouTuber and maybe you watch people and they have the expectation to grow at least 100 subs a day or something. The fragrance niche in the fragrance world is smaller than that. You can't have that kind of expectation. And of course, if you're having fun with it, you're going to keep going and you're going to keep pushing with it. If what you truly love is fragrances and fragrance reviewing and building a fragrance community, like I have, you'll push through. I don't blame anybody for leaving. You know, people come and go. People have I mean, really important jobs. People have family issues. Health issues can creep up. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons why somebody might stop reviewing. But you know, if they put their voice out there, shared their collection, added a little bit to the fragrance world and that passion for fragrance, I think it means a lot. I think it matters. So don't feel discouraged, my friend. It'll come if you're consistent and you're doing good work, and you know, we're here for you, my friend. Says congrats. Definitely the best interacting. That's is the best interacting with subs. Definitely get in the comment sections. You know, comment and try to get involved as much as you can with your friends, your people. I guess you know, if you're being technical, like your audience, you know, care about these fragrance lovers, care about these people, and the fragrance passion. That's what it's all about. The fragrance sign says, "Love your content. Titan fragrances. Keep up the keep strong, mate." Yeah, for sure, Frankenstein. Check out Frankenstein's channel too. So cool hearing about people's journey. Yeah, Jasmine, thank you so much. That's definitely something that's very important to me. When I first got into fragrances, I didn't know where I was gonna go with it. I'd bought like I honestly I went to Ross before. I got Ungaro 3, which is very ashy and a very strange kind of old school fragrance. That kind of almost made me quit getting into fragrances because I thought it was interesting and it didn't smell terrible, but It kind of was daring. I wore that once or twice and I offended people. So I didn't think it was bad, but it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Then I bought, trying to remember the name of that fragrance. It's not a Bogart, but I did smell silver scent one time and I thought it was terrible. But what I can't even remember right now. Gray flannel, gray flannel. To me, it smells like car exhaust, and that fragrance choked me out. It was very potent and it was a very negative experience for me. Some people out there might love that fragrance, but gray flannel was quite bad, and I really didn't know any better. Supposedly, the Eau de Grey Flannel, the O version, is better, but I didn't know what I was buying when I first got into fragrances. And then I started buying some cheapies. I bought, I think it was Perry Ellis Red 360. I think that's what it's called. I bought Perry Ellis M. I bought some of the cheapies, and I started figuring out about Fragrance Net. And honestly, most of my fragrances come from Fragrance Net. I bought from Fragrance by CA. A lot of my niche that I bought came from Twisted Lily, but sadly, Twisted Lily's no longer with us. They've closed their doors. I'm not sure if their website is up at this point. On my Instagram, and I did try to share it around everywhere. They had 30% off. Everything niche fragrances that almost never go on sale, and some of them were like big name brands like Zoologist and some of these other brands that never go on sale. So it was an incredible sale. I have one little fragrance coming. It's not even terribly expensive. It's just it wasn't even expensive. So wonderful fragrances out there though. Let me see here. Keep going strong. Frankenstein, thank you so much. Means a lot. Yes, Titan fragrance for sure. Sad to hear about Twisted Lily's demise. Yeah, it's sad. I don't know what kind of financial issues they were going through. As a boutique, you have to get your name out there. People have to be supporting you. People have to be coming, consistently back to your boutique. Just like anything, to have a consistent business. The fragrance community never really talked about them in a big way. I mentioned them two or three times. Triple Ink introduced them in a video. But as far as the fragrance community, I don't think many people talked about Twisted Lily, and they were a wonderful place to go. They honestly were giving amazing prices out. About, I don't know, it seemed almost like once a month, like 12 times a year, they would do a 20% off sale. And you could get most of their fragrances for 20% off of niche fragrances that usually never go, they're never off anywhere. So that's why I was able to get Nichon Ace Fan Your Flames for close to 150 or so. I think like 160 or something, but I don't think that they were making a lot of profit to begin with, and then people didn't talk about them. So it was a real struggle for them. And I think that they did open a physical store pretty early. Keeping up a physical store cost a lot of money, and that's probably what hurt them. If they just decided to be online and go that route and maybe build a physical store later down the road, that's probably a lot easier to do. Physical stores are really touchy, especially when in our age of internet technology and everybody wants things shipped to their door in 2 days and all that kind of stuff. Having a physical store is kind of a difficulty. See here, I think their sister concern is there, and the parent company, I presume. I'm not sure. Twisted Lily. I'm not really sure about that. Says, gotta get myself to bed. It's late in the UK. Night Benjamin, night all. Night Centurion, thank you so much for being here. Jasmine says night, and night mate Frankenstein. So, my friends, I just want to thank y'all so much. That's what this video is about. Unless y'all have any more questions about me, I'm very open to any questions y'all have about me, my fragrance journey. What fragrances do I have? I also y'all didn't show too much enthusiasm, but I did promise y'all that I would show my collection at 2,000. So I'll do that. I'll work on that video soon, and I'll show y'all my entire collection. It's probably a slice of humble pie. I don't have the biggest collection. I review from samples, and I only keep what I truly love. I sell a lot of fragrances off. I've done a lot of reviews on fragrances in the past that I don't have anymore, even though they're great fragrances, and sometimes I lost money, and sometimes the fragrances were kind of cheapies to begin with, and I just sold them off to somebody, and I gave them amazing prices. I already have more than enough fragrances, probably to last me the rest of my life, so I don't need to keep around another fragrance, even if I like it. I have to absolutely love the fragrance to keep it around, and I'm just really picky that way. And sometimes I already feel guilty. I have, I don't know, 20 plus 30 decants and like 60 fragrances and all these oils and all these random fragrance things. And sometimes I even look at it and I'm like, how am I going to use it all? Am I ever going to get through it? Sometimes I feel that way, and I'm not even at 100 bottles. So for some of y'all, who have 200, 300, 400, even 500 bottle collections, you might think that I'm a small fry. So, anyways, I'll show you all my fragrance collection and what I got going on. Please do. Frankenstein says, I'll do it for you. Congratulations on reaching 2K, Ben. You definitely deserve more. Thank you for that. It means a lot. One of the things that really made me so happy one time, Red Adolescence actually commented on a video one time and told me the same thing. I don't know if he loved my presentation or my style or how open I am, or maybe he thought my videos were informative. I try to make my videos again, very worthwhile. I try to tell y'all about how it smells and the notes, the performance. Maybe try to include what season the fragrance is best for. I try to tell y'all what other people are going to think about the fragrance to keep us honed in our perspective. Not that I'm focused on compliments, but I'm focused on, what are other people going to think about your fragrance? Because y'all know that with niche fragrances, they can get very daring and very interesting, is a nice way to put it. And then I like to talk about the price. So I hope that y'all like my format. I like the way I like that style. It's like my foundation, my four focus points, and that's what I love to do in my videos. It's something that works for me, and we all are going to have our own little different style. So, um, Mike says, congratulations, deserve more. Yes. Fragenstein, a collector is always an absolute delight to watch, no matter how big or small. Thank you, Fragenstein. That's encouraging. I don't have the biggest collection, and I never have. I've never had the intention to rush out. And I'm not discouraging anybody or criticizing, but I've talked to some fragrance people, fragrance reviewers, and or fragrance lovers just in general, and they felt a need to rush out there and buy cheapies. And a lot of them were amazing cheapies and other fragrances, and to get 100 to maybe establish some kind of, I don't know, like that gave them, I don't know, I don't clout or in I don't not influence, but it made them respectable that they'd reached 100 bottles, like a milestone. And that's not the way I look at fragrance. If somebody gets out here on a fragrance review, even if they have one fragrance or a couple fragrances or just a dozen, and they truly love those fragrances and they wear them, they might understand those fragrances better than anybody else out there. And we can review from decants and those kinds of things. So never feel like you ever have to buy fragrances or that you should buy fragrances. I hope y'all know that I always make fragrance suggestions, and I'm trying to help you find the fragrances that you will truly love. I don't want to. I'm not a salesman. I'm not an influencer. Yes, I do get some things for free, but I'm just presenting them. And I think that again, I'm going to say it, that I think that that's a positive thing, because brands want me to represent them and share those things. But I'm always going to be honest with y'all. Y'all know that I've always presented that. I've always said that, and that's the way I'm always going to be. Um, I think that there is a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of fragrances, and some brands out there need the exposure. These little indie brands, these little small brands, they don't have money for advertising, and they probably don't want to advertise to every person on the street, on the internet, and they want to put their fragrance in front of you and work with somebody like me so they can get some exposure and a little way that doesn't cost them a lot of money. So hope that y'all look forward to that. I don't have anything huge in the works like that, but a lot of fragrances and a lot of things to get into. Nishane, that says sounds good. Collection is yes. Fragenstein says Nishane Fan Your Flames is high on my wish list as well. Love it. Yeah, Fan Your Flames is an amazing fragrance if you love tobaccos, if you like authentic spicy qualities, and it has a beautiful kind of like roasted coconut syrup, coconut syrup to it. And Nishane Fan Your Flames to me is very elegant and classy, and almost kind of like a retro fragrance, almost like a kickback fragrance. To me, it's kind of like a distant cousin to like Enigma Creation E. I think I did do a review of Fan Your Flames when I probably am gonna do another one because I think it deserves it, and I'm just gonna tell y'all here and now that I think it's better than Creation E. Some people love it, Creation E or Enigma by Roja, but for the price and for the smell, yes, I do think that Fan Your Flames perhaps is a little bit more confident or maybe macho to some people. But if you love your tobacco, it's worth it. It's a great fragrance. I think in the grand scheme of the collection, it's great. Grand scheme of things, collecting what matters is not getting burned, because in the end we're all our own individual fragrance journey. Yes, Frankenstein, we're all different people. We're all on a different fragrance journey, and that is a wonderful thing. It's very fun to see different people, go out there and like different styles of fragrances, like different notes. Some people enjoy certain perfumers. All kinds of people like different, ways fragrances are made. Some people like fragrances that are deeper and darker. Some people like fresher fragrances. Some people like the daring and obscure, if I can say that right. And some people like the mass appealing, compliment getters. So there's going to be we don't have to fight, and that's one thing that I really want to promote on my channels. We can all come together in a good way. So um, I have tried to cool it with buying fragrances, but curiosity gets the better of me. Waiting for Ungaro El Om. What do you think of Molecule 01? Um, you come to one of the only guys who will be open with you and completely honest with you, maybe about some things, that other reviewers won't say. I know somebody who's a fragrance writer and who has connections to the fragrance industry, and they wouldn't say it openly. But I'll say it. Molecule 01 and most of the Molecule series, they're selling you cheap synthetic ingredients. They're mixing them, enhancing the smells a little bit and making them a little bit more well-rounded. They're not purely just pouring a bottle of ISOE Super into a bottle of eccentric molecules. They are mixing it a little bit with a few other synthetics and rounding it out a little bit. And I'm sure the quality is pretty good for that ingredient. But if you don't like that, that luxury brand can charge you, you know, 5 times of what it's worth to put into it. Like, some of these $350 fragrances, they might only have $50 in cost and then they sell it to you. If you dislike that, you don't need to be going anywhere near eccentric molecules because they probably put $15 into cost, and you're paying, the 120, 130 odd dollars for an eccentric molecule. Some people love it. Some people find it fascinating that it can disappear and become a second skin. But most of that stuff is just synthetic materials that are kind of blended to become a little bit more well-rounded. I do like number three. If I was able to find the number three, which I think is the vetiver one, for 50 odd dollars, I probably would buy it just for fun, kind of to have a centric molecule in my collection. But I'll never pay retail for that stuff. It's again, I don't know what other fragrance reviewers know. I don't know everything in the world, and I don't know all the details. But I kind of wish that some of these fragrance reviewers would have exposed the brand a little bit for what they're doing. Eccentric molecules. I mean, they're. I mean, if you think of any brand out there is ripping you off, eccentric molecule is one of the worst offenders, for sure. So that's just my opinion, but definitely try it out. Some people love Molecule 01 and the Molecule line. Some people love it. Wear what you love. If you love that stuff, rock it and pay for it if that's what you're into. But just know that it's not a good value. You're not getting a lot for your money, for sure. Rod T says, "Congrats on the 2K." Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. It's a momentous evening. It's a momentous thing, for me especially. Uh, it's been a long while, and honestly, I kind of wanted to get to 2,000 in December, and I was at 1,900 or so in January, and it's finally the end of February. It's taken a long time to creep up and finally get to that 2,000. It's taken me almost like 2 months to get like 100 subs. So that's the honesty of it. Y'all know that I don't pay for subs. Some people have been shocked that maybe they thought I've grown really fast as a fragrance reviewer. I don't feel like I've grown really fast. I've had a number of other fragrance reviewers surpass me. And again, this game, what I'm talking about isn't a game. It's not about just subscribers. But I mean, I've earned this, and we're a fragrance community, and I guess we're a force to be reckoned with. I got some fragrance lovers behind me and some fragrance enthusiasts behind me now, and I guess I'm surprising some people. I feel like I'm a small voice, but maybe I am. We are making an influence. We are pushing the envelope, and making some changes in the fragrance world. Anyways, Making Sense says, "Sup, what's man? I love." See, passion is there. It's sorry, I gotta catch up. Mysterium Lugosi's in the house. Thank you so much for stopping by, my friend. If I remember right, I think you have a channel. I don't know if you've uploaded recently, but you got good stuff. If you're the same guy I remember, you're a great guy. So thank you, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. Titan Fragrances says, I do love collecting and I try rotating through everything I own and agree. I love seeing collections, whether it's 10 bottles or 100, if the passion's there. Yeah, there's room for everybody in the fragrance community. If you have 10 fragrances or a dozen, or if you have 100, there's room for everybody. Super Ben, making sense says, for sure. Thank you. Frankenstein says it's almost 1 here in the UK, signing out. Good night, guys. Have fun. And once again, congrats, Centaur. You deserve it. Thank you, my friend. It means a lot. I've been putting in the work, and we're finally got there. And we all feel, at least I feel, um, I don't know. I'm like humbled and grateful, and it means a lot. It really does. So, the Frankenstein says, good night, bro. Yes. Stella says, what do you think about Gucci Ohm? The old square bottle with the black cap, and can you use the Gucci, the one EDP all year long? Take care. Wish you the best. Gucci Ohm. Do you mean the Gucci Ohm one, the discontinued one, the one that's really desirable? I actually haven't tried that one before. I've been tempted to get a sample, but you have to pay, I don't know, $15 to get a sample of it. I have tried Gucci Pour Homme too. It's a completely different fragrance, which is actually discontinued and getting kind of rare as well. I've heard that. I think it was Bentley. Bentley Man Black, I think it was supposed to be a clone. There's one of those Bentley Man fragrances that's supposed to be pretty close, or like an adaptation of that Gucci Pour Homme. Anyways, for the Gucci Pour Homme, or I mean not the one EDP, you can wear that fragrance all year long. I don't think it's going to work well in the high heat. You probably could get away with it summer nights. Hot spring days probably it wouldn't work either. But that fragrance is pretty versatile. If you want something all year long, it's pretty light. It doesn't last the longest, but you might, if you really love the fragrance and how it smells, why not just buy, the regular EDT version as well, and have both of them. The EDT is going to do a little bit better in the heat than the EDP, and they both smell really good. Again, the longevity is kind of is the issue, and the struggle with the fragrance. But it smells really good. It's always recommended. It's always hit top 10 list, and it's always been a good recommendation because it smells good. It stood the test of time. It smells great, and and it's also a great date fragrance. It's really smooth. It's cozy. It's kind of like a honey tobacco, but it's not aggressive on the tobacco. It's a really charming fragrance. Anyways, let's jump to another comment. It says, I think I have a signature scent is underrated these days. It's the memories and associations you and others build with the fragrance that makes it all the more powerful, in my opinion. I agree that fragrance memories and having a good time with fragrance is very important. That is a really big discussion. For me personally, I'm a little bit of a curious person, and I don't dedicate myself to any one fragrance. I don't really dedicate myself to a few things. I've never had a signature scent. I've never had a scent where people just recognize me from the scent. If I am around people who don't know me well enough on the regular, they usually know that I am a cologne guy. That they usually know that I'm going to be smelling pretty darn good. So they know to look forward to that. But I don't have any one scent I've dedicated to. But I do think making memories and connecting with fragrance is very important. And having fragrances for different occasions is something I kind of promote. I think having a fragrance for certain occasions really matters. And some people have felt like maybe I'm trying to cage people down and say you can only wear a fragrance for certain occasions. And that's certainly not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say that you can save a fragrance for certain occasions, and then that fragrance is going to be impactful. It's going to be important, and it's going to have a certain kind of meaning for you. For me, Jubilation 25 by Amouage is that kind of fragrance. I only wear it for special occasions. I only wear it to like family reunions, celebrations, festivals, things like weddings and those kinds of things. To me, Jubilation's a very happy, very fancy, very classy fragrance. It's also kind of loud, so I only save it for special occasions like that. But of course, you can wear anything anytime. I guess we all have different feelings about fragrance, but I do think signature scents is a good topic, and I do think deserves some talk. It certainly does. I'm getting an indie version of Molecule 01, not the pricey version, but I appreciate your feedback. Yeah, definitely. I'm sure there's some good alternatives out there. I haven't tried alternatives to Molecule 01, but I wouldn't be amazed if it could be duplicated for a lot cheaper. I mean, a lot cheaper. And again, I'm not attacking the brand at all. There are a lot of things in the world where a lot of people are actually overpaying for things, and some people are very, very happy with those products and those goods because of I don't know the image or what it can do for them. There's a lot of things in the world that are like that that might not be the best value, but people certainly do like and enjoy those things. So I don't want to discourage anybody from them, but I'm really value minded. I like to get a good value. I like to know I get my money's worth, and I certainly don't want to feel or have the idea that I'm cheated in any way. So and that's just how I go about things. Jasmine says just that you can and wear so many really, um, just that you can. Yeah, you can wear so many fragrances. That's one reason that I kind of don't go for signature scents as much, but maybe I should. I get people to recognize my scent, and I'm sure it could be very impactful. Pretty influential. Jasmine says, "Bye, Fragenstein." Yeah, bye, Fragenstein. Thank you so much. Titan Fragrances says, "I measure quality over quantity. No good having subs that don't watch or interact." I agree. That's what I want, and I want people to truly enjoy my content, truly be involved, and truly love the work I do. That's what I work for, and thank you all so much for interacting and being here this evening. Um, I says I measure okay, and Sleep Hard Fragenstein from the fellow Brit. Hey, Mike. Over there. Rod says absolutely. Which popular fragrance do you not like? Um, I actually made a video about that a while ago. I've been thinking about doing another one. I always feel like I'm ruffling feathers, and I never want to really ruffle people's feathers, but there's a number of popular fragrances that I don't like. One of them was Baccarat Rouge 540, and really when it came out and when it was even more popular, and people were absolutely crazy about that fragrance. I don't like Baccarat Rouge 540, and recently some people have come out and started to talk about that they really don't like it. To me, it's a pretty heavy on the ambroxan. It does have some citrus, but it also has this interesting medicinal sweet smell. And to me, it smells like medicinal oud. I don't know if oud is listed as a note. I don't think that they put it there because whenever you list oud, it kind of scares some people off. But oud can be medicinal and oud can be fresh. And when it becomes a little bit warmer, I want a giveaway a while ago, and I actually have a bergamot oud combo. It's a very fresh, easy to wear oud, and there are some fragrances that are that style. So if you're a lady out there, there's a fragrance called Precious Oud from this one of the high-end kind of lines from Van Cleef and Arpels, and that is a beautiful, very wearable ladylike fragrance that's not scary. It's not oody like you would think oud is. It's not dark. It's not scary. It's not animalic. So, anyways, Baccarat Rouge 540. I don't care for it. Um, I respect Parfums de Marly, but for the price, for 300 odd dollars, I don't like a lot of them. For me, Herod is one of those that I love and I hate. For me, the sweetness in Herod really stands out in the dry down. It kind of is on top of the rest of the notes, and it just doesn't blend right with the rest of it. Sometimes I like Herod, and sometimes I just don't. I don't know why that is. And most of the Parfums de Marly line, like Delina, I mean, Delina is a gorgeous creation. Uh, and maybe one day, if I have a significant other, I'd maybe gift it to him, like Delina exclusive. But there's some fragrances out there that I just don't like because of the price. Um, that's really my thing. The price is a big factor for me. I'll make y'all another list. I'll make that video for y'all. Anyways, Jasmine says thumbs up. The Bentley for men absolute equals Gucci pour homme. Thank you, Rod. That's the one I was thinking about. Bentley for man absolute. Sleep Hard Frankenstein. Jubilation 25 rocks. Congratulations on the 2K. Thank you there. Farallon, is that how you say it? Farallon Islands. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Jubilation 25 is gorgeous. Titan Fragrance says, congrats again on the accomplishment and for the passion you share and what you bring to Fragcom. Keep it up. Keep it up, brother. Gotta run and have a blessed night. Hey, Titan Fragrances, you have a good one too. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time and stopping by. Agreed, 540 is too sweet. Yeah, it's a little bit too sweet, and we all have our different taste. I never want to really give the impression that I really hate a certain fragrance. There's some of them that I actually do really dislike. Again, gray flannel was one of those I absolutely detest. I detest Jupe. I detest Silver Scent by Bogart. And there's a number of other odd fragrances, some popular ones that I dislike because of the price. But I never want to say that I hate a fragrance because I'm here again to help you find a fragrance that you love. And you might love that fragrance. Somebody out there might love that fragrance. But I do want to tell y'all what I like and what I dislike. And I already talked about this in a live in the past. But I want to do that to give y'all an idea of my taste and, maybe my what I like and some of my favoritism towards certain notes or styles of fragrances and those kinds of things. Um, Anyways, have a good night, Titan Fragrances. Again, Baccarat Rouge 540 is too sweet. I felt that the same way about Oud Satin Mood by Maison France Courtisan. To me, it's far too sweet. It's a little bit too rose heavy for my taste, and the rose is very jammy to my nose. It's a perfectly good fragrance. It's a really good on the performance. I'm sure in the dry down after it stops projecting so much that it can be very seductive. But for me personally, it's not a scent that I would like on my skin. I have plenty of other nice ouds that I can wear that are not only sweet at times, but also there's so many wonderful ouds that I truly enjoy. Um, if I actually brought this out tonight, just in case people weren't asking questions for a second. I'll pull this one out real quick and show it with you before I wrap this video up this evening. Um, if y'all haven't heard about this fragrance, this one's really nice. Not too many people talk about it. I think I saw TLTG talk about it. But this is Monsara's Oud Vanille. This is a oudy fragrance. It does have a little bit of that medicinal vibe, and it is sweet, but it's a seductive little creature, and very tantalizing. This one's sweet without being cloying or too heavy, and I usually have a hard time enjoying or liking vanilla scents. So this one's pretty much a dream come true, and it has that modern oud. It's not the skanky, it's not the animalic oud. It's not, but it is kind of medicinal. So you have to be aware of that medicinal side of the fragrance if that's something you're willing to try or get into. If you wanted Baccarat Rouge 540 and maybe the medicinal side didn't scare you, but you want something a little bit darker, but instead of ambergris, maybe you want vanilla. They don't smell similar. I'm just trying to paint a picture. You might like this stuff. You might go for it. So certainly is very good for me. And it also is very seductive too. So definitely check that one out. Jasmine says, bye, Titan. Congrats on the 2K bin. You smells good. Hey, man, he's in the house. How you doing? Eugene, I never knew you stopped by on my channel. Hey, man. They, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for the congratulations. Loving your channel and your work. I got to check out more of your content, and I am one of those guys as well. And I say we want your Gare Lawn videos back. I don't know if you put them back on your channel, but I'm over there with Robes08, and I watch your lives. I don't always comment on everything. Sometimes I watch, and I do watch. So, evening, Eugene. Seb Warman's thumbs up, and Making Sense says again, congrats on the 2K. Thank you. Y'all are gonna make me blush over here. Says, what's your favorite channel fragrances you've tried? What's your favorite? Oh, Chanel fragrance that you've tried. Egoist really has grown on me. I really love Platinum Egoist, and I think it's the Allure Homme Edition Blanche. You know, there are more natural citruses out there, but as far as citruses go, and I guess Chanel is considered a, I don't know, are they considered designer? I don't care. I consider things by price. Like, I evaluate them if they're mass appealing or if they're difficult, and if they're low price or they're high price. Anyways, if we're, as far as designer fragrance goes, if we're going to categorize Chanel, I think Allure Homme Edition Blanche is one of the best citruses on the market. Even though the price, it's not a cheapie by any means, but it's a darn good fragrance, and I think Platinum Egoist is a darn good fragrance too. So, gotta run. Have a great evening. I'll see you, Randy. I'm gonna wrap this up now too. I felt like I've taken a lot of your time. Anyways, everybody, we've been on here for about an hour, and I just wanted to celebrate. I am gonna have a giveaway. I'm gonna set that up. I'm gonna see if anybody else wants to jump in. I have some fragrance oils by Airage coming that are going to be a part of the giveaway. I might, if I get all my reviews out, I might throw in a discovery set. I'm not sure. And Babylon Fragrances says that they would throw in a 30 mil. So hopefully I can get some other brands to join in. But even if it's not the biggest giveaway in the world, you know, hitting 2,000 is a big, we're here for the passion, not a giveaway, but I do want to give back a little bit to some of y'all wonderful people out there. Anyways, Jasmine says, bye, Randy. So again, I want to thank you, everybody who's been with me. Some of y'all have been with me from the beginning. Darren, you've always been here for me. I think it was Randy, and there's everybody who's popped in. Let me see, Mike, DJ. Some of y'all have been with me for a long time. Some of y'all have always been with me. Susie Roman, congrats. Have a good night. And some of y'all, yeah, some of y'all have always been here to encourage me. So thank you so much for your friendship. Always feel free to comment, and I always respond as much as I can. At some points, I actually am at 100% responding to your comments. I'd love to build that community, and I care about everybody. So feel free to comment on a video, put your thoughts out there. You can even tell me if you disagree. Let's have a discussion. And again, it's a shameless plug, but also check me out on Instagram. I'm Centaur_fragrance. Check out my Instagram. It's a wonderful place to be. There's a great community there as well, and there's a lot going on over there in Instagram. So, anyways, Mike says, have a good night, Ben. I'll see you, Mike. Have a good one. I'll see you, everybody. Thank you so much for the love and the support. Again, I hope that I didn't bore you this evening. I had a celebration. I hope that you had some fun. I wish I had some fireworks. I didn't want to do anything too crazy, but maybe I could have done something like that. I don't have any strobe lights or anything weird, so anyways, I'll see you, everybody. Have a good one. Have a good night. Have a fantastic week. Take it easy, and get into something new. I always say at the end of these lives, and maybe I'll make it a tradition, get out there, try some essential oils, try out diffusing some oils. Figure out a way to experience scent in a whole new way. Maybe you want to burn incense. Maybe it's a new fragrance. Maybe it's trying out a new brand or a new house or getting some samples. Always get out there and try something new. And of course, if you live anywhere near a big mall, a big boutique, especially if you're in a big city, you have so many fragrances around you. Make that trip. Make a weekend trip, and go out there and just sample fragrances. You don't have to pay for the samples and buy the decants. You can just go out there and test out everything. So get out there and be curious, be passionate about fragrances, and have fun, my friends. Thank you so much, Jasmine, for all of your support and your love this evening. It was so good to see you, Jasmine. And I'll see you next time, my friends. And you, Eugene, thank you for stopping by as well. Smells good. Thank you for your stopping by and saying hello. Anyways, I'll see you next time, my friends. Have a good one. Have a great one. And let's be smell. I don't even know who says that. I almost took somebody's tagline. It's like let's be smelling good. I almost said that. No, no. Wear what you love and rock what you got. So I'll see you, my friends. Have a good one and bye, everybody.